everyone! Today I have a DIY project for you guys. It was inspired by a ring dish or jewelry dish that I seen at Aerie over Christmas, and I really loved it, and I just thought, well, I can do that myself and I can show you guys how to make it as well. So what I'm going to be showing you is this ring dish right here. I just thought it was so cute. It's got gold leaf or gold foil on the back, and then the gold leaf shows through the letters. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I made this, then keep watching. For this project, you're going to need a small clear glass plate like this one here. This is an appetizer plate, and I got this from Bed Bath & Beyond. And then for this particular design, you're just going to want to make yourself a stencil that fits about the size of the inner square on the plate. So I've gone and created myself just a nice little phrase, and I made mine from this roll of adhesive stencil sheet that you can get, and it's by Martha Stewart. I got mine at Michael's. So if you want to pick up one of those to make your own stencils, you get a lot on this roll, so you can make a lot of stencils out of this, and it's not too expensive. So that's what I've made my stencil out of, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my letters. So now that I've got all of my letters cut out, I'm able to now stick them onto the back side of my plate. And a tip for whenever you're cutting them out, it's really easy to cut out the little center bits before you cut out each individual letter. And you're going to want to do that with your X-Acto knife because you're not going to be able to get in there with your scissors. So that's a really helpful tip. So as I said, now that I've got all of my letters cut out, I'm going to start sticking them on the back side of my plate. But the first thing I need to do is clean the back side with some alcohol. So you're just going to want to use rubbing alcohol and then just a little makeup pad to clean up your glass where you're going to be sticking your stencils. So now we're going to stick our letters. You will have to be turning your letters backwards so that they stick on. So since my bottom word, which is always, is going to be bumped towards the bottom, and any space that's left over will be on the top, I'm going to start putting my letters down here first. So now I've got all of my letters stuck on, as you can see. And I just want to make sure that they're really stuck really good, so I'm just going to press them down. Make sure all of the edges are nice and stuck so that we get nice clean lines. Then I'm just going to go ahead and take my swab with my alcohol on it and clean it up. Once again, being very careful where the letters are, where the stencils are stuck, because I don't want to get too much moisture on that, just because then the stencil may not stick quite as well. So now we're just going to paint on the back side of our jewelry dish, and we're just going to lay down something so we don't get paint all over the place. And I'm going to be using the Martha Stewart multi-purpose paint in satin. If you've seen some of my other projects, then you know just how much I really love this paint, so you'll see me using it quite a bit. But I'm going to be using this, and I'm using the color Surf for this particular plate right here. So I'm going to do one coat of this with a sponge brush on here. I'm going to then take my blow dryer and I'm just going to heat that paint and dry it a bit so that it starts the curing process. And I'm going to do that for about 5 minutes with the hairdryer. Then I'm going to let that dry for 1 hour, and I'm going to do a second coat of this paint and then let that dry for an hour. So after the hour of letting the second coat dry, if you come back to it and the paint still feels sort of rubbery and sort of like a stretchy feeling and not hard, then you want to just let it dry. And I ended up letting mine dry overnight just so that that paint would be really nice and hard, so that when I lift my letters I should get clean lines. Now I just wanted to mention that when you lift your letters, you want to be very, very careful, because there's some very small parts that might not want to lift away as well. So if you'd like, you can take your X-Acto knife and just go around the edges, especially the little spaces inside the letters, just so that you're making sure that you're going to get those letters lifting away nice and clean, and these little bits aren't going to get pulled off when you pull your stencils. So just make sure that you're being very slow and careful and gentle with that. So what you want to do is take your X-Acto knife, the sharp point, and you're going to just put it on the letter. You don't want to put it on the outside because you don't want to accidentally scrape your paint around the edge, but you're just going to pierce it around the edge, and you're going to push to get it to lift, just like that. And then very, very gently peel it away. So that's one letter peeled away. And you may notice that you have a little bit of bleeding of the paint, so it just kind of got under the edges of the letters a little bit. And then just to fix that, you just take your X-Acto knife and just use it to just scrape away any bleeding areas, get back that nice crisp edge. So once you've got all of your letters cleaned up, you're just going to want to clean up one last thing, and that is along the edges of your plate. So in order to make a nice straight line, you're just going to take your knife and just drag it along the edge, and then all the way down to the side. So it makes a nice straight line, and it makes it look nice and neat. Now it's time to bake it. So we need to go put it in a cold oven, and we're going to sit it so that the paint is facing up and the bare glass is on the oven rack. And so as I said, you put it in a cold oven, set your oven to 350 degrees and let this heat up in the oven at the same time. And then once your oven comes to heat, which will be, as I said, 350 degrees, then you start your timer for half an hour. Once the half an hour is up, you're going to turn your oven off, and you're going to let your jewelry dish cool down in the oven as the oven cools down, and you want to let it cool completely before you remove it. So now that the paint is fully cured, we can attach our gold leaf. And to attach my gold leaf, I'm going to be using just Mod Podge because it dries very transparent. I'm going to be applying the gold leaf to the entire back and all the way up to the edge of the dish where our paint ends. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So once you've got the whole thing covered in gold leaf and you've let it dry, you can start to lightly brush off the excess with a very soft brush. If you want, you can let it dry overnight just to make sure that everything is nice and stuck on there. That's what I did. And then you'll know that it's dry because you won't get any of that milky look that the Mod Podge has when it's wet. It will be clear and all you'll see is the gold foil. So that's how you know when it's really dry. So at that point, like I said, you're ready to just brush off the excess gold leaf. And then once you finish brushing off your gold leaf, you're going to want to spray it, the back side of it, with a really good clear glaze. Something like this one that I have here, which is the Triple Thick Crystal Clear Glaze by Krylon. And I'm going to do about 2 to 3 coats on the back side of this once I finish brushing away all the excess and I've made sure that everything is still nicely covered with the gold leaf. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this, and I'm going to come back and show you guys the finished product. Alright everyone, that's it for this project. I hope that you guys really liked it, and if you did, please don't forget to click the thumbs up below. That really helps me out. And subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up with all of my latest videos. Also, you should come and follow me over on my blog, thecreativeglow.com, to see all of the other things that I've got going on over there. And if you want to come follow me on social media, I will have all of those links in the description for you guys as well. I guess that's all I have to say for this video, except I hope you guys have a super awesome day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!